So Mike Bloomberg's longtime partner is just as sensitive as Mike on issues involving women and sexual harassment and sexual misconduct. Here's what she had to say in very blunt terms when asked about the accusations against Mike Bloomberg.
At a Woman for Mike rally last night in Texas, CBS News spoke to Diana Taylor, Bloomberg's longtime partner, about his company's use of non-disclosure agreements.
In none of them was he accused of doing anything than saying something nasty to a woman. That is not who he is. Life has changed. I grew up in that world. It was a bro culture. We have come a very, very long way. And Michael Bloomberg has been at the forefront of that change.
We pressed Taylor on what she would say to people who were bothered by allegations against Bloomberg and his response to the NDAs at last week's debate.
It was 30 years ago. Get over it.
Displaying the deft and sensitive touch, one would think, but we don't know everything that Mike Bloomberg probably may have not done, but there are many allegations. I just want to give you a taste of one because it's not really been reported anywhere, and it was unearthed by Glamour magazine of all places when looking at an old article in the Village Voice, which had to do with Mike Bloomberg and his response to sexual misconduct allegations at his company. After one of his employees sued, alleging she was raped by a coworker on a business trip, Bloomberg said during a deposition, according to the Village Voice, that he wouldn't believe that the rape occurred unless he heard it from an unimpeachable third-party witness. So that is the person that we're dealing with amongst all of the other accusations against him, and his partner seems to be on the same wavelength of just general despicableness when it comes to this topic.
I always wonder, I mean, I guess, how do you reconcile this idea of the person that you're married to and the horrendous things that they said and did? And I wanna be very clear about that. He has said many horrendous things. We've been doing videos about it just regularly, and not in private, not in locker rooms, not to his friends. We're talking about two subordinates of his, where he has life and death power over their career. He treated them as abhorrently as we can imagine. He can go blow for blow with Trump on degrading women any way you can imagine. But not just that, also actually discriminating against them. There are many of these cases were about things that he said. A lot were about the way that he treated his employees in terms of promotions, in terms of requirements for them, in terms of their appearance. This is not just comments that you can just get over like she says. And I guess she's found some way. But I wonder, when her advice is to just get over it, okay, maybe me as a critic, maybe I can get over it. But all the women whose careers were ruined by Bloomberg and the men that he protected for years and years and years and years, can they just get over it? The woman who was raped and wanted to be compensated in some fashion and was insulted, insult to injury, can she just get over it?
Well, just a quick comment about what you said, how you justify what your partner or what the person you love or are in a long-term relationship with does. You would have to have the same morals as that person, and it seems clear that she's in the basement with him in terms of morality.
It works out that way. So just getting over it, and again, we'll talk about the temperament of many folks in this position. Just getting over anything. We're gonna keep relating to Donald Trump because he's a similar person. Has Donald Trump ever gotten over anyone just saying something to him? I'm sure Mike Bloomberg is still incensed about the debate last week when he got laid into by Elizabeth Warren. He's been upset about Elizabeth Warren before she kicked his ass around. So the whole thing about getting over something, because it was 30 years ago, trust me, they don't get over anything because you're not supposed to cross them. There's no crossing me. So you need an unimpeachable third party as far as this woman that alleged rape that happened on this business trip. So think about the atmosphere you're now setting, not only just for the women who are involved, but also some of your coworkers that are your employees that think, I can do whatever I want, but as long as I don't have someone in the room recording or hidden camera, or maybe someone else that I went and told what I did. And what's an unimpeachable third party that you need in order to even take anything seriously? Not saying you go and just have the guy arrested, but at least look into finding out what's happening. That's the unimpeachable third party line, is to say, there's no way you're gonna get this through to me at all, so just stop.
You know why you can't get over it? Why people who don't have as much power as Bloomberg can't get over it? Because they don't have the money to make things go away. They don't have the money to fire whoever they want. They don't have the money to just throw at things and solve all of their problems. They are people who are you have immense power over, and that's why they're unable to get over it. That's why there were lawsuits. That's why there was an attempt to get financial compensation, because they needed recourse, because you are the one that has all the power. You're one of the most powerful people on planet Earth by your bank account alone. And that's why they can't get over it, because you have the ability to do whatever you want, make anything go away, and they don't have that ability because they're regular people that you have no idea how to connect with.
Super fast. Right now, the Democratic Party is literally going on Fox News to attack Bernie Sanders over his comments about literacy programs in Cuba. That's a line that they cannot cross. But they're lining up potentially to hand this thing to Bloomberg after he doesn't even get the most delegates. And you're worried that like Bernie's Fidel things are gonna mean that he loses the general election. Have you guys been to women's marches? I've been to a bunch of them. You know, like millions and millions of women were incensed at Donald Trump, and in fact drove political activity and behavior and activism in 2018 and caused the Democrats to finally take the House back because of how rightfully horrified they were by Donald Trump. Hand them Bloomberg as a guy to run against Donald Trump and see if you don't let the air out of that enthusiasm far more than any comment about literacy programs possibly could. This is what they're defending by going after Bernie Sanders.
Don't miss your chance to win a trip to Los Angeles and have dinner with Cenk, John, and me. Just head to tyt.com/dinnerinla to register to win. Sign up for a free Aspirations Spend and Save account. Then you just register your eligibility and swipe your Aspiration card daily on purchases to gain entries. Not only are you entering to win a trip to Los Angeles and dinner with TYT hosts, you're also not depositing your hard-earned money into fossil fuel exploration or production. As a friendly reminder, even if you already have an Aspiration account, you must still register for eligibility into the sweepstakes.